Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There's a new report that Marvel is using Avengers Doomsday and the return of the original Fox X-Men characters to finally pay off a very, very long-running fan theory that was started by Elizabeth Olsen herself back during the Avengers Age of Ultron press in 2015, like that long ago. And even though it sounds like at the time she didn't have any kind of inside information about what the next 10 years for Scarlet Witch would hold, a lot of what's happening with Scarlet Witch in Avengers Doomsday now, and the X-Men characters coming back, are things that she talked about wanting to do right after WandaVision finished. This was still when Marvel was planning for Avengers 5 to be Kang Dynasty, with Kang coming back, the Council of Kangs, and Scarlet Witch's subplot during Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 were going to be completely different than what is happening right now with the Russos coming back and changing the scripts. You could just picture the Russos showing up and throwing all those Kang Dynasty scripts in the trash. Maybe some of the spoiler bros will leak those out at some point. It is wild to think about how chaotic Marvel has been behind the scenes the last couple of years with all the changes they've made, the big pivots with all the movie and TV show strategy in bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and all of his Doctor Doom storyline. But it sounds like one of the positives in all that is that it created the opportunity to pay off this long-running Scarlet Witch storyline that everybody seems like they've been asking for Marvel to do for a long time, which, as a lot of you probably theorized about yourself, doing a version of House of M in the movies.
In House of M, Scarlet Witch created a new reality where mutants were the majority and Magneto was the ruler.
So we'll explain what's going on with that in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and how Marvel is adapting that storyline. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. If you are a big Scarlet Witch fan, big Elizabeth Olsen fan, sounds like you'll be pretty happy with some of her subplot in the movie. Because yes, she is coming back to the MCU in a couple different ways. If you didn't realize, Elizabeth Olsen came back to voice her character, Scarlet Witch, during Marvel Zombies TV show, which is doing episodes next week. I'll do a separate video for that when it does air. But that's meant to be a completely different universe version of her character. It's not MCU Scarlet Witch. We're talking about her coming back in live action. So Elizabeth Olsen is coming back in a number of different ways. Kevin Feige and Marvel were always planning on bringing her back in the movies through Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. Even when the plot was still Kang in Kang Dynasty, they would have just given her a different way of returning during those movies. The whole idea with her ending in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is that Marvel was creating a reason for her to take a break from the Marvel movies. The way that she talked about it personally is that she wanted a break, so they just gave her a very open type of ending where you're not really sure what happened to her character, but all the fans, we all knew what was really going on behind the scenes. Also, Matt Shakman, the director of WandaVision with her character in the Fantastic Four movie more recently, has always maintained publicly that Scarlet Witch is still alive out there in the multiverse.
I mean, my favorite is House of M, but that would never happen. But
never say never in this.
I mean, if she could have two fake babies and everyone tell her that they don't really exist, and then her just go nuts, that would be unbelievable. But I don't think they're gonna do that. It might be a little too dark for the Marvel universe. When she loses her mind, it's my favorite thing in the comics.
Now, because Kevin Feige decided to bring back most of the original Fox X-Men in their own universe, it just provides extra opportunities to pay off a lot of Scarlet Witch X-Men-based stories. Now, these X-Men are meant to be from the universe that Monica Rambeau ended up in during the Marvels post-credit scene with Kelsey Grammer's Beast, which is also meant to be a completely different X-Men universe. Like, it's not the actual original X-Men from the exact same universe. They're just meant to be slightly more comic book accurate versions of those original X-Men actors, like very similar to the original X-Men universe. The original X-Men universe is the one that they end up in at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. A lot of the footage we've seen from the Avengers Doomsday set features comic book accurate Sentinels in the X-Mansion. It looks like a giant battle takes place with Doctor Doom attacking the X-Men there at the X-Mansion. But because it seems like a large portion of the movie is going to take place in this X-Men universe on that world, fans, Elizabeth Olsen herself, even Kevin Feige have talked about doing crossover stories in the movies with Scarlet Witch in the X-Men characters because she is an X-Men character. They're using this as an opportunity to just pay off this House of M storyline. Like, why don't we just put a version of Scarlet Witch in this X-Men universe? Wouldn't that be cool? So according to this new report that just got published, during Doomsday, Ian McKellen's Magneto is ruling over Genosha as its king, with an alternate version of Scarlet Witch, Evan Peters, Quicksilver, and Polaris being the royal family as you see them during the original House of M comics. Elizabeth Olsen herself even talked about wanting Ian McKellen's version of Magneto to be her father, because she'd been asked a long time about her relationship, Scarlet Witch, with Magneto, because the whole Fox Disney X-Men rights thing that went way, way back didn't change till after Avengers Endgame. So there are a lot of interviews with her back during Avengers Age of Ultron, like way before that ever happened, or they thought that was a possibility, where she was talking about doing Magneto crossover stories, like, which version of Magneto would you like to be your father? And she was always saying Ian McKellen.
Oh. I'm gonna go with Sir Ian McKellen.
One of the other big things that Elizabeth Olsen revealed behind the scenes at Marvel is that Kevin Feige actually asked the actors what they want to do with their characters. So it sounds like Elizabeth Olsen told him that she wanted to do a version of House of M at some point, because she's been telling every single interviewer that asked her about it, like, oh, I would love to do that so much at some point. And because of the changes they had already made with the toy box of original X-Men coming back and all the Doctor Doom stuff and all the multiverse stuff happening in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, Kevin Feige's like, oh, let's look in the toy bin. We can actually pull that together with all the toys that we have right now. One of the funny things that she's actually said in interviews before is that she's reluctant to actually say what she wants to happen with her Scarlet Witch character, because Kevin Feige is so willing to do what the actors want to do that if she were to say that, it would technically become a spoiler. And this is before they announced that they were going to be doing this House of M adaptation during Doomsday. So it's just an example of that actually being very, very true. So it looks like the idea in Doomsday is that in this X-Men world that Monica Rambeau got stuck on, that Magneto has achieved his grand goal with Genosha of creating a safe nation for mutants, and he's just ruling over it House of M style with his family, which includes Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. Genosha is a huge story point in the X-Men comics. They kind of got into this with Michael Fassbender's younger Magneto in X-Men Dark Phoenix in X-Men 97. It's been featured a couple times in live action in the background, but not like a real big deal. Probably one of the other big surprises in this is they're doing a live action version of Polaris as part of this. Now, she was in the original House of M comics as well too, but they haven't done a lot with her in live action, either in the Fox movies or in the MCU. She is their sister in the comics. The closest we've actually gotten to her in live action is the version they did during the Gifted X-Men TV series, and then a little bit like hinting at her during the X-Men movies during the Michael Fassbender era. Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse kind of addressed Magneto being their father with some of Quicksilver's dialogue in those movies, and he kind of hinted at it too, but you never really got a ton of time with them working together as an actual family, just the promise that they would eventually get to that. But then Disney bought Fox out, Marvel got the characters back, and all the stuff they'd planned for the future of the X-Men movies at Fox just completely changed.
Why do you care so much? You see a speech on TV or something?
Yeah, but, he's my father.
Here's the thing though, because we know how Avengers Doomsday has to end with the collapse of the entire multiverse, time runs out style, it means this X-Men universe probably going to be destroyed pretty quickly. So if the movie's only 2.5, 3 hours long, it doesn't sound like we're going to get more than like 5-10 minutes of their House of M situation on Genosha before Doctor Doom shows up and starts this giant war to destroy the X-Men universe. The original House of M storyline was also a very temporary situation as well too, like it was an alternate reality that eventually reverted back to normal. Also because it's an alternate reality, even though it's live action, it's not the true original MCU Scarlet Witch in this House of M scenario. It's just Elizabeth Olsen playing another live action version of Wanda like she did in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness with Wanda from the 838 universe. My current theory, without more footage, is that when original MCU Scarlet Witch actually comes back in Avengers Doomsday, separate from this House of M Scarlet Witch with Papa Magneto, is that she's working with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, and they also adapt a version of the subplot from the Young Avengers Children's Crusade storyline for her because of what they're setting up with Billy and Tommy and Marvel Phase 7 related stuff. During the Young Avengers Children's Crusade storyline, she's lost a lot of her memories. Doctor Doom takes advantage of that, gaslighting her so he can use her power during Doomsday to achieve his goals. So slightly different version of the Children's Crusade from the comics. Pretty sure they're also not going to do the subplot where he's in a relationship with her and they're getting married during the Children's Crusade storyline. Like, they'll just skip over all that stuff. Also, the idea that even though she might be helping Doctor Doom, she's not evil when she comes back. She's just very, very confused, and Billy and Tommy will try to help win her back over. Elizabeth Olsen has talked about wanting to give Scarlet Witch a redemption arc in the MCU. I think that's mostly heading forward in Marvel Phase 7 with Billy and Tommy and all that stuff, like their family in the MCU slowly getting back together, but that'll be after Secret Wars. We actually might start to see more Easter eggs for Scarlet Witch coming back during the Vision TV series next year, because it sounds like they also might be bringing back a version or introducing a version of Tommy that's been aged up. They kind of teased that at the end of Agatha all along, but they've not completely explained what's going to be happening during the Vision TV series.
Let's go find Tommy.
Now that we have Franklin Richards joining the fray in Doomsday, I cannot wait to see people asking who's going to be more powerful, Franklin Richards or Scarlet Witch. The real answer to that is probably Franklin Richards, just based on the way they write them in the comics, but we'll see how they handle that in the MCU. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up. We have Marvel Zombies episodes next week I'll be doing episode videos for, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. And we probably get a couple other big Avengers Doomsday reveals. I'm not expecting another carbon copy chair watch video, but they might be a couple other big reveals. Whatever they wind up announcing or releasing, of course I will do videos about it, like the surprise leak of that Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom first look video. Just expect more stuff like that to drop over the rest of the year. I literally just did a big video about that. Click here for all of that, and click here for all my Marvel Zombies episode videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.